Just like heaven is a beautiful romantic comedy about love that crosses the boundaries of life and death. It teaches us that sometimes the person who changes your life forever could be someone you never expected, even a ghost. It's a heartwarming mix of fantasy, humor, and love with a happy ending that brings tears of joy. The life of Dr. Elizabeth Mastusoni, Elizabeth Masterson, is a brilliant young doctor in San Francisco. She works very hard, always focused on helping her patients. She's intelligent, strong, and dedicated, but she doesn't have a personal life. No time for friends, no time for love. Her sister Abby worries about her. Abby keeps reminding Elizabeth to take breaks, rest, and maybe even go on a date. But Elizabeth always replies, "I'll rest later. Right now, people need me." One day, Abby sets Elizabeth up on a blind date with a guy she thinks will be perfect for her. Elizabeth doesn't really want to go, but after a long shift at the hospital, she agrees. Before the date can even begin, something tragic happens. The ACCID end. While driving to the dinner, tired and overworked, Elizabeth meets with a serious car accident. She crashes and becomes unconscious. What happens next? Cut to a few weeks later. Someone new is about to enter her life. Enter David Abbott is a quiet, grieving man looking for a place to stay in San Francisco. He's still heartbroken after losing his wife. Emotionally tired, David just wants to live alone and forget the world. He rents a fully furnished apartment. The place feels peaceful, perfect for him to be alone. But it doesn't stay peaceful for long. The ghost in the living room. One evening, David is sitting on the couch when suddenly a woman appears out of nowhere and starts yelling at him. It's Elizabeth. She's angry that someone is in her apartment. David is shocked and scared. He thinks she's a ghost, or he's gone crazy. But she doesn't look like a ghost, just a very alive, very confused woman. He calls a priest, even visits a psychiatrist, but no one believes him. They think it's all in his head. Elizabeth is confused. Too, she can't touch anything. She walks through doors. No one else can see or hear her, only David. Eventually, they both accept the strange truth. Elizabeth is a spirit, and David is the only one who can see her. And unlikely for an unsäkert. Einsicht first. David is bossy. David is frustrated. They argue a lot. She tells him to get out of her house, and he tells her to go back to being dead. But as time goes by, they slowly start understanding each other. David realizes Elizabeth is a good person who cared deeply about others. Elizabeth sees how David is broken inside and lonely, still mourning his past. They begin to talk, laugh, and connect. Elizabeth tells him about her past as a doctor. David helps her remember more things. One night while lying on the couch, Elizabeth says softly, "I never got to kiss anyone for real. Not like in the movies." ... David smiles. And though she's a ghost, a soft emotional spark begins to grow between them. A mystery to solve, David wants to help Elizabeth. So they decide to find out who she really is, what happened to her, and if her body is alive. They begin visiting places from her memory, her hospital, her sister's home, even the furniture store where her couch came from. Each place helps her remember more. Eventually, they find the truth. Elizabeth is not dead. She is in a coma. Her body is lying in a hospital bed, on life support. Her spirit is just wandering, stuck between life and death. Terrible DCII's COON here. Comes the twist. Elizabeth's sister Abby believes Elizabeth will never wake up. Heartbroken and thinking she's doing the right thing, she signs hospital papers to disconnect Elizabeth's life support. David is shocked. He knows Elizabeth is still alive. He talks to the doctors, but no one believes him. They think he's mentally unstable, desperate. He tries to talk to Abby, but how do you explain that your sister's spirit is talking to a stranger? Time is running out. Breaking into the hospital, David comes up with a bold plan. With the help of his friend and a little trickery, he sneaks into the hospital. He reaches Elizabeth's room just as doctors prepare to disconnect the machines. He gently takes her hand and whispers, "You're not alone, Elizabeth. I'm here. please come back." The moment is filled with tension, silence, and then her hand twitches. Her eyes flutter open. She wakes up. She doesn't remember him, but there's a problem. Elizabeth wakes up with no memory of David or their time together. The spirit version of her, the one who laughed with him and loved him, is gone. That connection is gone. David feels crushed. All that time they spent together meant nothing to her now. He walks away, silent and heartbroken. The garden on the ROF. Some time passes. Elizabeth goes back to her normal life, trying to figure out what happened during her coma. One day, she goes up to her apartment rooftop and finds a beautiful garden waiting there. David had designed and built this garden. For her, just like she once imagined in her dreams, she sees David there, standing quietly. She walks up to him. He looks at her, unsure if she remembers. Then she touches his hand. In that instant, all her memories come back. She smiles. He smiles. They both realize their love was real. It wasn't a dream. Just like Heaven is a beautiful film about unexpected love, second chances, and the power of connections, spiritual or real. Sometimes life gives us miracles in strange forms, and sometimes even a ghost can save your heart. Asterisk, if you like the story, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment.